So could you tell us about the challenges and rewards of your experiences as a dean?
I think the biggest challenge is to implement the strategy and to actually influence the people that you're working with, that you need to follow that strategy. The other thing is to work with the university to make sure you get the appropriate degrees of freedom to implement. I think the rewards are, in fact, are legion in being a business school dean. You get recognition and you're an important part of the whole university structure. However, I think at the moment one of the biggest challenges is the change in the government regime and the increasing expectations for international operation and the competition in our sector.
Right. And people tell me you're a great team player. I wonder how you go about building teams?
I think one of the big things to build teams is to ensure that you get the right people in the right roles, that you give them enough understanding of what's expected of them, and that you actually work together in ensuring that the results are to everybody's satisfaction. If people struggle in roles, I think there's always a way in which you can actually help them and develop. And then of course there's the social aspects. But of course, actually the main thing is to give people the role and let them get on with it. A team doesn't work if you want to do everything yourself.
And what about relationships with the Central University and other departments?
That's very important. I've been very lucky in Lancaster because business school's a big player. It only has 3 faculties in a new school, and I'm part of the senior management team. I've always been able to get enough support from the Vice-Chancellors I've worked for, and Paul Wellings has been excellent. We actually encourage interdisciplinary working, interfaculty working, and so it's quite easy in Lancaster. And we get a lot of, we had, for example, an Institute of Advanced Studies that we all work on, and I really think we do well.
I guess business schools are different because there's an obsession with accreditations in some schools and rankings. What are your views on those? I
think we all like to criticise them, but we quite happily sit there, and getting triple accreditation has been a key issue for differentiation. However, it's more than that. It's a way of looking at the world, and it helps you to actually reassure yourselves you're doing the right things, and you learn a lot from the process. You have to give back because you have to go and do accreditation visits elsewhere, but I think that's all part of the learning. Rankings, we all love to hate them, but we find it difficult when we're not there. And we, this week, of course, did manage to get into the new rankings on the finance programme, so there we go.
Congratulations. And in terms of research, how do you incentivise research?
Yes, one of the things that we've done is to, obviously we give people time, there's incentives for sabbaticals, there's incentives because we give people quite a lot to travel, but at the moment we've also started to incentivise financially people who can submit to the FT, so hopefully that will work too.
Okay. And tenures, at the moment you're the longest serving dean in terms of your current tenure. Do you have a view on how long a dean should stay in one role?
Optimally they should have 2 terms. I actually think though that the natural break in the 2 terms should be one time to review it, so if things aren't going well or you're not the right person or the job doesn't suit your own skills, then I think that that's a natural time to go. To do 2 terms you need to be clear about what you're going to achieve, and if you're stupid enough like me to sign up for 3, you need to know when you're going to exit. It's easy to exit when things are on a high.
And how do you maintain a personal sense of balance and deal with energy levels?
I think that it's important to have good people around you. I have a superb colleague who works for me and puts me in the right direction. I also think it's good to reflect, have some space, and it's good to have hobbies that allow you to do all sorts of different things. I support a football team and I can let off steam at them rather than at my colleagues, so it gives me a sense of proportion.
And finally, any advice to new deans coming into the school world?
Yes, I think that my advice is it's a tremendous world to work in. It's complex, but it's fun. It offers great rewards, both intrinsically and extrinsically, for people who do a good job. But don't think you've got to know it all. Learn by your mistakes, and there's always people to help you.
Right, that's great, thank you.